Nobody knows more about making mistakes than Tony. Nobody knows more about ads than Tony. That's what I meant to say. No, you guys are in for a treat. He's always got some kind of shenanigans. People in the front row, brace yourself. Who knows what might happen when Tony gets up here, okay? You know how SeaWorld has the splash zone? Exactly. So, all right, guys, brace yourselves. Put on your seatbelt. It's going to be a crazy ride. Welcome the one and only Tony Christensen.
Dance, though. I was like way out of breath last year. I gotta ease up. Thank you. I will try not to make more mistakes. Oh, it's on?
What it is. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Get up.
I gotta move all these.
Lima,
what is up? There's like 2 people in here. Lima, what is up? That weird fold thing there. All right. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 mistakes that are killing your ad performance. A lot of this covers meta ads, can be applied to other ad platforms as well. Someone's phone's ringing. It's not me. And here's what to do kind of instead of these 5 ad mistakes. So I'm going to give you the main mistakes I see when we audit a lot of ad accounts, and then I'm going to give you what to do instead. Just to note, everything will be available to you, so don't worry. I'm going to move fast. There are 5 things, 30 minutes. Like we're gonna cruise here. I'm going to catch my breath real quick. Whew. Jessica always warns me, quit running around and dancing, dude. So first, I want you to really think about the last time you stopped scrolling. What actually made you stop? And then I want you to think about your last ad that you may have ran, or the last post that you made organically on the platform, and really think about, would you have actually stopped for that? I think a lot of people post things. I do. I'm guilty sometimes as well. And I post it to post it, but like I'm not that pumped for it. Why would people be pumped for it, right? So be really honest with yourself. Would you have stopped for your own content? You really want to think about that. So reasons why people might actually stop. They felt like it was made for them. It called out a specific problem that you might have recognized. It's a real person in a real situation. Not a brand voice, not a logo being pushed up front. And it grabbed your attention in the first 2 seconds. Now, what most businesses do is do stuff like premium quality products and services. And like, no one cares. They might show a polished studio shoot with the logo front and center, and again, no one cares. Like, we're all pretty much trained at this point to just like, that's an ad, scroll by it, right? Or you might speak to everyone or try to speak to everyone, and really because you're doing that, you're connecting with absolutely nobody. Or you might have, sadly, a lot of small business owners might fall into this category of like 1 ad running for 6 months. Like, oh, we should probably throw something else in there. So the reason why you wouldn't stop for your own ad, it's not the platform. It really is a fundamentals problem. It's coming down to kind of these core pillars that we're going to touch on here. And luckily for you, fundamentals really are fixable, so we'll dive into how we can fix some of these mistakes. If you don't know me, I'm Tony Christensen. I'm the co-founder of Brick Social. We're an international ad agency for ambitious brands. We manage hundreds of millions of dollars in Meta and Google ad spend, and we specialize in e-commerce ads all around the world. I'm also traumatized by these 5 mistakes I still see in ad accounts. Here's some of the brands I've worked with. I'm also a fun, nerdy content creator, so some of these, like McDonald's and Forbes, I've worked with where they just hire me to speak and make funny videos, but our agencies work with a lot of these other brands as well. So the first mistake, which we kind of touched on a little bit already, is just being too polished. I think Andy touched on this a bit, but really your ad just looks way too much like an ad. Again, we want people to kind of not realize that it's an ad up front, and that's going to help us get more viewership, get more retention, make our ads actually work for us. So that's the problem that we're having here. TikTok had a really good saying, and it was, don't make ads, make TikToks. And they wrote an article more recently kind of explaining this, and this was like very early days of TikTok and the platform. I thought this was a really good quote from them. So basically, they wanted to describe this a little bit more on what they meant by this for advertisers. It's hard for an ad to cut through the noise these days. Entertainment and connectivity have evolved, while ad formats have stayed the same for years. We mute them, we skip them, and we tune them out. They were created for a different kind of internet experience and haven't evolved in line with everything else competing for users' attention. This is literally what I'm still seeing in ad accounts, is like we're making ads that look like they should be in like traditional print media or on a billboard, but they're not like TikToks, you know? They don't look like they should be in the Instagram reel, you know? So the fix for this, we say make ugly ads. We don't necessarily mean, sometimes I do push it and make really ugly looking ads. You'd be surprised, like, wow, that's really bad. Like that, I drew those, hand drawn there. That's kind of what we mean though, is like we want things to look really organic and real and native to the platform. Not necessarily ugly, but like you pulled out your phone, you made a video, you posted it. It feels real, it feels organic. And because of that, people aren't seeing it as an ad and they're not scrolling by it. So user-generated content, if you don't know, it's just basically content made by customers that you have. So videos of someone, they get the product, they open it, they talk about it, why they love it. These have 10% high, or 10x higher conversion rate than non-UGC content. So this right here is just showing you it can be so much more powerful to have some of these real organic looking videos into the platforms. There's 4x higher click-through rate for UGC creative as well. And 88% of consumers trust peer recommendations over ads. This is sort of that gray line. This is the area where like I call our agency like making chameleon ads, where like you think you're seeing just an organic post and all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, this is an ad. This is kind of what I want to encourage a lot of people to do, is like think about how do we make ads feel real, feel organic, and not like an ad. And a quote I love to say is just, when's the last time you saw a viral video that had a big logo in it front and center? You know, it's very rare. There's some really good media agencies out there that do this kind of stuff, but most of the time it's like someone pulled out their phone, they zoomed in quickly on like a dog doing something weird or something. I don't know. Should have came up with a better example there. But you get it. So what ugly actually looks like in practice, maybe it's shot on a phone, not really a camera or a DSLR. It's a talking head or candid footage. There might be little to no visible branding. With us, we might do more visible branding towards the end of the video. We might show a logo and have a call to action at the end of the video. It sounds like a person, not a brand. A mindset I love, Chad's so funny with all this, like, don't trust this guy, he's crazy. And some of the thoughts I have with like this kind of things of like, sounds like a person, not a brand, is just like, act like you had like 1 or 2 drinks and then make the video. And like, that's the energy you want. Like your best friend, like, you gotta know about this thing, you know? That's the energy you want in your ads. And think about a real location, not like this fancy studio shoot. I have way too many business owners I work with that like they want to waste so much money on like hiring a high production team and like a studio, and like we have one nice video they made and like it just flopped. Like, great, you just wasted like $40,000 or $20,000 or whatever that amount was, when you could have just taken out your phone and filmed like with someone just randomly in the office or in the car, at your kitchen, whatever it might have been. There's a lot more kind of efficiency you can get out of that. And then again, it feels organic and real. Also, it might have rough cuts or natural lighting. I like to use natural light. We've actually seen some really cool studies where we've studied showing like recessed can lighting, sort of like these lights on the ceiling here that are off right now, showing those like behind you. Weird, terrible angles. You see a lot of those videos on TikTok. That stuff can work really well for ads because, again, it just feels really natural up front. So again, a polished ad really is saying we're a professional brand, and an ugly ad is like someone like you had this problem, and here's what actually worked. So again, it kind of cuts through that noise, it cuts through that filter that people have for ads. And note too, again, low production does not necessarily mean low quality. It might look low quality, but again, it's just more organic feeling, more organic into the platform. And it really just means more people are going to receive that message, they're not going to filter that message away, and you're going to make more money and more sales out of it. Cool. So in practice, here's what an ugly ad might look like. Here's a client that we had called Wavy. They're a curly men's hair product. You can see at the top here, pretty ugly, I would call it ugly, but like that native feeling, organic. You know, this is like something you might post on your story, for example, with that text. It's not like a fancy brand text, right? It's shot on an iPhone. The lighting is really good in this. I will be honest, there's a lot of windows, so it's filmed really well there. But it is shot just on an iPhone. And it's made to stand out to a specific persona, and we'll get into persona targeting here shortly as well. And again, this is a curly hair product, so we're showing a guy with curly hair, showing him in a barber shop, so we're also trying to approach barbers with some of this ads as well. Mistake number 2 is having not enough creative variety. Again, 1 ad in the ad account, 2 ads in the ad account. 1 ad on repeat forever. Your audience has seen it again and again and again, and now they're going to just keep scrolling past it. And there was a really cool study that Meta Engineering Research did, and they're really looking at the click likelihood over time and that decay. And the main thing to note is like when the 4th exposure hits, it's like they're 41% less likely to click on that ad. So really, if you have 1 ad in the ad account, it's going to work okay for like your first week, your second week, but when you're trying to scale, when you're trying to reach more people, or when you're trying to show the same ad to the same people until they buy from you or until they become a lead, they're just less likely to click, so you really want to get more variety into the ad account. So some ways you can do variety. The first one I always think about is format variety. I think this is the biggest one that I would kind of hint on, like leaning towards this direction. So definitely look at getting UGC, kind of those, again, those ugly videos shot on a phone. Videos from your customers can be really good. Another format I consider its own format is just a shorter video. Austin does a lot of these. He talked about doing that with like 7-second videos where he's pointing and there's text and things like that. Images obviously are great as well. And then there's founder videos. I love founder videos. I would encourage everyone that's a founder to make videos. You just have more passion. It's more authentic. They do really well. And then there's carousels as well that you can run. There's also hook variety. So you can start with a pain point. You can start with a curiosity hook. You can start with a result. And you can start with something controversial as well. There's angle variety. So the ad might be a testimonial. It might be a problem and then a solution. It might be a before and an after and what that looks like. Again, a founder story could be an ad type as well, angle type. And then I also encourage everyone to think about persona variety. So again, if we're talking about that like curly hair brand, there's guys, different skin colors, different types of hair, curly, coily, wavy they call it. They have all these, they have like 5 different ways to define curliness. I don't get it. My team figured it out, I don't know. But that could be really good too. So you want to have and try to get different people for those different personas. So what are all the customers that you're going after? What do they look like? Do we have people like that in our images, in our videos? And if we don't, we should probably get some of those going. And because we do that, we expand that way. We call it horizontal expansion. We're then able to scale and approach different people in different ways. So you might have men that buy from you and they're buying for some reason. Maybe females are buying for their partner. So we might want to do like a gifted type of ad campaign, a gifting video, that kind of thing, or like a guy reacting to a girl gifting that product to her. So this kind of shows you some ideas of how you can get that variety going. Cool. This is kind of what it looks like in practice. This is a kind of a rental AC unit company that we worked with. This is a UGC image that we made for them. They basically had the image. We just threw that text on it. Again, it looks like your friend just like posted this to Facebook, the Facebook feed. Looks very natural here. We still do test and use like branded copy here, branded looking fonts and colors, but I really like and push our team to do a lot more of these organic looking fonts and colors because again, it just looks more natural. This is a founder video we did as well for them. So this is the founder here talking more about the social proof. So you can see we're having like, this first one, it's more of just like a guy on the street posting the thing and talking about, these guys came, why did I ever buy my own? The second one's more of the social proof, so if people haven't bought, we're now seeing they've installed over 30,000 AC units. You can see the warehouse. You can see how professional they are. This is a great one. We did a problem-led image. So we kind of made it look more like a meme. We did a lot of research, and just people are just really afraid of just AC units falling out of their apartments, obviously. And then I was like, how do we like amplify this even more? Let's do a video and have him drop it out of his window. And then like, let's light it on fire. So amplify is like another word I would want you to think about in the back of your mind when it comes to creative, is like how do we amplify this message even more? We had a customer we worked with too. They were selling cornhole boards. They're made in the USA. So we really want to show, why the quality's there, why it's quite a bit more expensive than your boards on Amazon that come from China and whatnot. So I talked to the business owner. I was like, can you like drive your truck over the cornhole boards? And he's like, yeah, I'm down. So it was a great video. He drove his truck over the board. It held up until the very final part of the board, and the board just explodes, and the truck slams down. And we still ran it as an ad, and it was like one of his best running ads. So even stuff like that you might think is a failure when you're filming it, it can do really well because it's still authentic, and it shows like, well, this actually held up pretty well until the truck got to that main point. So like, don't be like too scared to do stuff like this either, because again, it's just more authentic and it gets people just to, again, not look at it as an ad, and they start to like you as a brand and really take you seriously with your products and services. Cool. Mistake number 3 is targeting through interests or still targeting with a lot of like those lookalike audiences. This is something, I've been advertising for like 10 years now. Even like 5 years ago, we could still do a lot of interest targeting, lookalike targeting, and that thing, that sort of thing. But a lot of I call it the TikTokification of the platform. A lot of things have just changed on Meta now. They're getting a lot smarter. They're looking at how people are actually reacting to your videos and your ads, and they're judging on if they're going to continue showing you or people like you that ad based on that, versus like Facebook pages or groups that you were in that now are kind of dying in some instances. So they're actually removing a lot of these interest targetings that they used to have before. So with this, and take this to heart here, this is the biggest thing I always say to people, literally 70 to 80% of your ad account performance is coming from your creative quality and your creative. It's really not from a lot of these other things that people worry about. I tell a lot of business owners when they're like, what should we spend for ads, and what should the structure be, ABO or CBO, or who should we target? I'm like, if you put all of that energy into that creative and that creative variety, you're gonna be way happier, and most of the ad account stuff isn't really gonna matter as much. So creative really is the new targeting, and we'll get into what that looks like. Meta's Andromeda engine evaluates millions of user ad combinations in milliseconds. It reads your creative and figures out the audience itself. So you want to stop doing this, these big interest stacks. People might do, fitness, health, gym, supplements, people aged 25 to 44. We really don't do a lot of that anymore. Narrow audiences that can limit the learning phase. If you're targeting people in a zip code, I would have it be broad, but I would target that zip code and how wide do you actually want to reach people, or how wide do your services be? I wouldn't really target homeowners or people interested in this. Literally just do it broad, target the zip code, go as wide as you can, and that's going to give Facebook the most efficiency to figure out what's working for you. Targeting lookalike audiences, again, I would recommend just don't do it. And with this too, we've done a lot of tests. We have a lot of brands that we work with that are let's still try interests, or let's try lookalikes. And what we typically see is they might still work. They might look better on paper the first few days, but we're trying to put more money behind them, and we're trying to scale them. They're kind of more limited, so sometimes Facebook's actually charging you more because you're trying to show, let's go for these tiny groups of people. When you have that more open and more broad, Facebook's just able to dynamically figure it out and be way more efficient for you. So instead, you want to have your video, audio, and text that really align with your target persona. I'll show you a good example in a second. You'll want more of those broad audiences or Advantage Plus audiences to let Meta expand and find your buyers. And then again, spend literally most of your time just doing creative. Have fun with it. This is a bit more of a branded ad that we made for a company. This is a bit more of a bottom, middle of funnel type of ad that we've ran. You can see for product clarity here, and for reference to, this is a headrest basically for a specific chair. So you can see we have headrest right there. This tells Meta right away it's a headrest. We say headrest unlocked, and we kind of make it look like an achievement was unlocked, like you'd have in Call of Duty or a video game, which will resonate more with that persona. We're showing the actual persona using the product there and playing, I don't know what that game is, but League of Legends or something. A game that we found a lot of our persona kind of plays. We kind of lean into that, and we might show that on the monitor as well. And then we called it out here as well. It says loved by gamers and professionals. So Facebook, again, knows we're going after gamers here specifically. And we have a lot of those neon and green colors, which are pretty popular in the gaming community. You can kind of see how you can do this more. Cool. Mistake number 4 is not trusting Meta. I think this is the funniest thing I still deal with business owners is they're just I don't think Meta's doing it right. I'm just what do you think Meta's incentivized? Do you think they're incentivized to not give you results? They really are trying to help you here. So really you want to trust Meta a bit. I'll show you some things that to worry about a little bit, but for the most part, I do trust Meta a lot. They have hundreds of billions of crazy amounts of data points on everyone for 10 plus years. They have so much data. I don't have that much data. I can't think as fast as them. Why would I not trust them? So trust Meta for things again, that broad audiences that you might be targeting, those Advantage Plus audiences. If you do campaign budget optimization, I do like this, especially if you're not running a lot of ads. Just let Meta figure out where to kind of spend money on those different ads that you have running. Also for the learning phase, don't touch things and move things too early. Even us, we're spending a lot of money on some ad accounts. Some go up to millions of dollars a month. We're still pretty much waiting 7 days for most of them just to see what's happening. If you look at a 3-day window, Meta might just have a problem one day. There might be something politically going on one day, and people just might not be buying a holiday or something like that. So look over longer windows of time. 7 to 14 days is usually a pretty good window. And then we like to go after conversion optimization. So with this, just optimizing for something like leads or purchases overall versus like traffics or viewing content. The one thing to be cautious with a lot of like trusting Meta and the AI is they're really pushing a lot of this like creative AI where like I might upload an image and they're trying to turn it into a video, or they'll say like, we'll try different text, or like we'll do a different background. We've had things, got great, I have so much funny like client messages, and I'm like, it's Meta, it's not me, guys. I don't know why you're mad. We had a men's apparel brand, and Meta like was doing this creative AI, and they turned like the backdrop pink and like changed the font into this weird serif-looking font, and the business owner's like, what the F is going on, guys? I'm like, Meta's AI, and he's like, turn that off. So this is one of those things, there's a lot of checkboxes when you're launching ads. We turn off most of those AI optimizations just because it can get a little unbranded feeling. It can go a little bit farther. It could look a little ugly. If you're open to it, if you're willing to let Meta do this, they can like get better performance, they say, with some of this stuff. But most of our brand owners, I would say like pretty much 95% of them are like, don't have those running because they can get a little funky sometimes and have little weird glitches. Manual bid caps, cost caps, all that stuff. We still do this. If you're like a very sophisticated ad buyer, media buyer, you could do these kind of things. But for most of you, I would say like it's not worth it. Just do normal CBO campaigns. And then again, editing campaigns a bit too early, and those learning phases aren't great. So wait a few days, 7 days minimum would be good, what I would recommend. In this, I did all caps, turning off highest spending ads. I'll show you an example here. Be very cautious of turning off your highest spending ads in an ad account, and I'll show you kind of what that might look like and why you don't want to do it. So let's say we have some variety in the ad account. We have UGC going with a video, we have some founder videos, and we have images. What you might actually see is a majority of your spend is just getting dumped on those UGC videos. They have a lower frequency overall, and frequency is just the amount of time someone sees an ad in a given amount of time. So you might see it has a low frequency, but it also has really low ROAS, or return on ad spend. It's not like on paper making you good money. So people might want to traditionally turn these types of ads off. And years ago, I would have turned these ads off. But in your whole funnel, you might also have images, and those also might have a smaller spend and a really high ROAS. And this is another one of those conversations where business owner is, why don't we dump all of our money on those images? But the problem with this, and what I really trust Meta on a lot more with now, is they're really looking at the platform holistically. So they know these UGC videos, yes, people might not be buying from them right away, but they're pulling people into our funnel, and that's why they have those low frequency numbers. They're basically approaching tons and tons of people, getting people into the funnel. Then maybe our founder video is showing some of that social proof. And then the images might be something like an offer, or like that little headrest thing I showed to gamers more specifically. And those are getting people to kind of buy and actually like, okay, I should buy this. And it might show price and offer again. So this is kind of how that system works, and like why I would say don't really turn off those high spending ads, because they really are helping the whole ecosystem as a whole. So often if we turn off that UGC video that's getting all the spend, the whole ad account will just start tanking. You'll be like, what's going on? Because now you're kind of draining all that traffic that was coming into your funnel. So be cautious with that. The fifth and final mistake is really boring, bland, generic ad copy. So you're really writing for everyone again and basically reading to nobody. Something like, we help local businesses grow with social media advertising. Contact us for a free consultation. Ugh, it's terrible. With this, some steps you can do to kind of combat this a little bit. Claude and these things can be great, but again, put your human touch on it as well. But a great way to go about this is name one ideal customer, not a demographic, but really a real person you're going after. Think of a name, an age, someone very specific. Write their exact frustration in their own words. Lead that frustration in line 1 of your copy. And then make them feel seen first, then offer that solution. So really make them come in on the level that they're at with their frustration, and then talk about your product and your solution. So if my agency is going for like an e-commerce growth manager, they might be basically saying something like, I'm running this alone and I'm out of hours. I need a team, not another tool. If you're the one person responsible for D2C growth, you don't need another login. You need strategy, creative production, UGC, and insights under one roof, so you can stop being the bottleneck. Also with copy, again, this is giving Meta that context for targeting as well. So if I'm going after people that are spending tons of money on ads, I might be saying that in the ad copy. If I'm going after people that, let's say, sell protein bars, I might say something about protein bars in the ad copy as well. All that's going to give Facebook even more context to target those people. So if you're going after someone very specific, definitely get more specific in your ad copy, more specific in your video and the words that you say in those videos, because Meta's going to take all of that context into play. All right, wrapping it up. I know we cruised through this, but again, you'll get all the slides and the QR codes at the end here. So number one, again, you really want to stop being so polished, stop being, brand forward, logo up front and all that. Make one organic style ad this week and test it. Just take out your phone, make a video, or film a customer, or film someone at work. There's some really cool stuff we do in the CPG space of just like if a brand's making like a new protein bar, they might just run around the office and like give it to a bunch of people in the office. Like, do you like the taste? What do you think of it? What flavor do you think it is? You can do all sorts of like really cool, fun stuff that would seem, again, like a natural organic video in the feed. 2, stop running one ad forever, so really get into that creative variety. So have 3 to 5 different ads, new creative every 14 days, ideally would be great, maybe every 30 days. This is one of those big ones. I often will do an ad account audit and there's just one ad running. Definitely at least if you have even one image, test different copy in another ad and have that kind of compete. Don't just have one ad. Try to get, again, more variety. Get some images, get some videos, try a carousel. And then again, stop doing that interest targeting and that lookalike targeting. Let Facebook figure it out for you. Go with those more broad audiences. And again, trust Facebook. Stop fighting the algorithm. Trust Meta's delivery AI. Go with those broader audiences again, the CBO campaign optimizations. And stop writing for everyone. Be very specific. Think about that exact person that you're targeting. We're really nerdy with this. We'll basically download tons of review data. We'll upload it to a tool like Claude, and we'll analyze it, and we'll just say, like, what's the majority of people saying that they're buying for us? What's the majority of the trigger moments that make people buy? What's the characteristics? And we lead all of that and use that for our ad copy, and that can help a lot. Another thing you can do is you can download all of your reviews again and upload it into just a word cloud tool and just see, like, what are the common words that people are using. And that's a great hack too, and now you're speaking the exact same language and using those words that most of your customers are using as well. Nerdy stuff. It's just basically we're just reverse engineering, right? Like, don't guess, just like take the data, view how people are doing things, and reverse engineer it and just regurgitate that back to people, and it works really well. Cool. I love tools. I wanted to share some of the tools that I love at the end here and some tactics that we do. First one, not really a tool, but a thing you can do. Instagram Reels and TikTok, just searching. You can use like Claude and AI to do a lot of this too, but I still love just like pulling out my phone, opening up TikTok, and searching the niche of a brand that we're working with, and just analyze what are the viral videos there, what are videos over 1 million views, and look for patterns. Like, what are their hooks? What's the text that they have? What are the concepts that they use? What are the environments that they're shooting in? And then basically just recreate it and make your version of that. Don't steal it, rip it, word for word. Definitely put your own spin on it, and that's what people will really like, and they'll resonate with your messaging even more. I think, Austin touched on this a lot. He does an amazing job doing this kind of stuff, just looking at viral videos, patterns, and all of that. I think we're very similar in that way of just like, how does this work? What do we do? How do we amplify it and get weird and get people to comment? Like, what's your earring, dude? Like, anyway, I wear earrings in my food content to get people to talk, but Facebook Ads Library is great too. This you can just go into, you can type and look for different competitors and see all the ads that they're running. This is a free tool. Instagram Reels, TikTok search, free obviously too. Another one we use for a lot of images and static images is called Creative OS. This has different templates and ad inspiration that you can use. So you can go in there, you can search for different types of ads like us versus them or problem solution, and it'll give you all sorts of different templates, and then you can add your branding if you want to do that, or make your own version, or upload your products, or upload your services. That's a really cool tool that we still use in the agency quite often. Atria and another tool called it was called something else. He changed it to Foreplay. I know the owner. I'm like, dude, Foreplay is a weird name for a tool. But Atria and Foreplay is some other tools that we like. These are basically Facebook ad libraries on steroids. Again, you can search quite a bit deeper. They also help make ads. They do scripting and that sort of thing as well. And then if you're spending, a lot of time and effort on creative, Motion app is a really good tool, and it just kind of can look at a lot of patterns and show you like top winning ads. They can show you the top hooks, so the top like 3 seconds of all your videos, like what are those videos that are happening. They can look for patterns. They can help you write scripts and come up with new ideas too. Motion's a great tool. It's a bit expensive. I spend thousands a month on that, which I'm not happy about, but it's a great tool as well. And there's the QR code for you so you can get all this stuff. I'm Tony. These are the 5 ad mistakes. If anyone wants a free cone, let me know. And I'll be at the table talks too for questions. So I'm happy to help you guys out and kind of, answer the questions for your specific business and your specific use case as well later today. Thank you. Thank you.
Before we bring up our next speaker, has anyone seen Chad? Microphone's not on. There we go. All right, before we bring up our next speaker, has anybody seen Chad? You'll find him? Okay.
Chad? Chad? Where's this guy? Chad, you here? Not here. Oh boy, he's got to be here. Chad, you here?
Hey, yeah.
Dude, Tony's done. This is Roger Wakefield turned. We need you to announce him.
So funny you mentioned Roger Wakefield.
Didn't you see the sign?
Apparently not.
Dude, well, we need you up on stage. We need to announce him. We're on a schedule.
I've got my microphone. Let me turn on my microphone. I'll just. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. How about Tony Christensen? Let's give him another round of applause. Wow, he's great. I love Tony. Great information. He is an ads, just a genius and super entertaining. Unfortunately, I can't make it to the stage right now, but up next we got Roger Wakefield, who is known as America's plumber. If only you guys knew the irony of that at this particular moment. But he is about to come to the stage. He is a YouTube genius with a huge following. He's grown his business in incredible ways, and now he's tapping into the magic of AI, marketing strategy, and he's here to share everything with you.